And that's what we spend our time working on, is a replacement for SWIFT and correspondent banking. How do you get all of the payment providers, all of the wallets onto ILP? And then how do you use XRP as on-demand liquidity?
Banks don't like SWIFT. They're frustrated with SWIFT. Their customers don't like SWIFT. And that's a great place to be.
Well, I think what we're doing and executing on a day-by-day basis is, in fact, taking over SWIFT.
You can flee tyranny, and right now you can flee, lockdowns, you can flee vaccine mandates, whatever it is your government is throwing at you, you can flee that with the keys in your head. Nobody needs to know what you own, and I certainly will not be fleeing any kind of dangerous, tyrannical government with gold billion bars.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
What's up, XRP fam? What's up, Crypto Ghost? It's the Bagman, the Moon Commander, back on the spaceship, chilling up here on Mothership 589. How's everybody doing out there? Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in, smashing those likes for some more Moon O'Clock news. No breakfast, no coffee, just straight extra bullishness. Go ahead, throw on those shades, buckle up, and let's go full speed, full throttle into the cryptoverse. Total cryptocurrency market cap up 3.3%, up around 1.9 trillion, XRP 75 cents. Bitcoin up around 41K, ETH 2800, XRP up about 0.7% in the past hour, almost about 2% in the past 24 hours. David Schwartz, once again, when should I flip the switch? Remember last time David said this, we went down. We shall see. David, go ahead and flip that switch for real. Ashish Barilla, thread ahead. In the last few days, we've seen some say that Russia could potentially evade sanctions and get around SWIFT using crypto. I outlined some of the key arguments refuting this below and a chart. Number one, crypto is only becoming more easily trackable by software and governments. Two, there simply isn't enough global liquidity to support Russia's needs, the country's FX needs, not individuals. Three, on and off ramps are by and large regulated financial institutions that have to abide by OFAC laws. Diving into number two, our team took a look at the data behind this as stated by the U.S. Treasury Department. Russia conducts nearly 50 billion in FX transactions a day. As the largest crypto, Bitcoin's volume is usually between 20 and 50 billion a day. Russia's needs would encompass BTC and more. As of January 2022, you could only send 200K worth of Russian rubles at a time through BTC on Binance versus 3.7 million through BTC USD and 2.9 through BTC and the euro on Bitstamp. Even if you were sending 200K every minute, and assuming BTC RUB market was resilient enough to immediately replenish the liquidity, very doubtful. You're nowhere near 50 billion a day. Also, the total average daily volume over the last month for BTC RUB has been just 11 million. SWIFT is one part of the equation here. Banning some Russian banks from using SWIFT does complicate matters, but let's not forget that Russia has had ample time to prepare, setting up direct banking relationships in Asia and elsewhere to get around correspondence. Digital asset investor says you're going to want to see this.
So we are big friends and fans of that organization. I think they're really understanding the space well. They are applying this thing called securities law to business in America and other places, as they have done for many decades successfully. They're identifying fraudulent projects. They're identifying obvious transgressions of securities law, but they haven't had a heavy touch, really. They've been gathering information. They've been taking some actions. They've been very clear that they understand there is this new construct, this protocol-based open platform.
So you think they get it?
Yeah, we believe they get it. They've introduced a new construct, decentralization, into their thinking. So in addition to the Howey test, they have this new construct that they're seeing certain things in. So they consider the Bitcoin network and token and issuance mechanisms. They consider the Ethereum network token and issuance mechanisms to be decentralized, and therefore no transactions involving those particular assets are considered to be transactions of securities. They have not said the same thing about other tokens, the Ripple token, for instance, and they were clear that they were going to come out with statements to sort of assess these different tokens, and I believe they've made all the statements about decentralization that they're going to make. And so Bill Hinman, Director of Corporate Finance, has been very clear about what you can do and what you can't do, and decentralization is a new element that they're working with.
This is all a show to shake you out of those real utility bags. Ron Hammond this week in Congress and crypto. While this was expected, the Ukraine situation has shifted the ground when it comes to the entire legislative outlook for the rest of the year. As members return to DC and briefed on the situation, here's a few areas worth monitoring. First is the narrative battle. The saying goes, never let a crisis go to waste, and we're seeing the pro and anti-crypto camps make their pitch. This is still an evolving situation. Two, there's an immediate desire to act from Congress when it comes to financial deterrence and sanctions. Nothing is off the table. Fed Chair Powell will be testifying in both chambers this week. What was supposed to be a COV recovery inflation focus will now turn to Ukraine. Watch how members now view the risk and benefits of a CBDC. As reports surface of Russia looking into digital currency, many in Congress see this as an example where the U.S. needs to lead. For later this month, FSC Dems will have a hearing on CBDCs and their risk and benefits. While a lot will happen between now and the hearing slated for the 29th, expect this issue to receive more attention as it relates to national security. Number 5, combating crypto usage and illicit finance has been an issue shared by both sides of the aisle. Goal is to prevent bad actors but not stifle innovation, and I expect more bills on this. 6, questions remain, though, if there will be calls for more financial regulation or cuts from services as it relates to engaging with foreign nations and their citizens. Just Powell highlighted the potential problems with some of these approaches in this thread. Finally, the State of the Union tomorrow and the rumored executive order on crypto pushed back given the recent developments. It will be worth monitoring to see if the staff will have resources to finish the efforts or if it could morph into something different given Ukraine. And number 8, on the bright side of things, it has been incredible seeing all the crypto support flooding into Ukraine after the recent tweet accepting crypto donations. DC is noticing this, as I've had several staffers mention this development. Keep up the support. Also, with all the stuff going on in the news and with the expert discovery, we could possibly have another delay. U.S. banks prepare for a cyber attack after Russia sanctions. Crypto Eddie, the February 2022 Swiss bank Signum fact sheet on XRP, part of their institutional investor offering. Jeremy Hogan, John Deaton, BitBoy Crypto. Let's take a look what they had to say.
So let me, Jeremy, when it comes to clarity about this and the settlement, if we get a settlement, is clarity therefore included in that, right? Like if they settle, we know for sure going forward that XRP is not going to be deemed a security, correct?
Right. So Ripple would make sure that that happens because a settlement is completely within the control of the parties. They craft the settlement agreement, right? So Ripple would never enter into any settlement agreement where continuing and future sales of XRP are deemed securities. They'd be, shooting themselves in the foot. So absolutely, if we see a settlement, guarantee that Ripple's legal team is going to make sure it includes that language that that XRP sales are not securities.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really big. Here's just a kind of off the wall question here. Somebody in the chat asked this. Once this case is settled, we'll start with you, John. Where do you see the SEC turning to next? Like, do you see a project or a kind of project they might be looking at? Because this is obviously a lot of their resources on this case.
I think we have to take Gary Gensler at his word, and he's targeting the exchanges, and I think that's why this case is so important, because of its impact potentially on all the other altcoins. But, they want to find that Gary Gensler keeps telling the exchanges, come in and register, which means they have to come in and register that they're offering securities, but the SEC won't help them in any guidance in which specific assets are securities. And so I believe we're going to see an exchange sued within the next several months.
Get those cryptocurrencies off the exchanges, not your keys, not your crypto. 589 steps ahead, U.S. cutting off Russia's central bank from the U.S. dollar transactions. Mr. Uphold. If Bitcoin became the world's reserve currency and hit 1 million, Peter would still be screaming, it's a Ponzi.
But you've been saying the price is going to crash for, years now. I follow you on Twitter. I've been seeing what you've been saying. And I mean, if you look at the last 5 years, gold is actually up only around 39%. It's not really done anything. Whereas Bitcoin is up 3,200%. Perhaps we live in this highly new era and a new time where my generation, millennials, actually do see value in something which is digital rather than something which is tangible. But you said Bitcoin isn't really doing anything. Right now, Bitcoin is actually saving people's lives. People are fleeing war-torn Ukraine. They're actually leaving to go to Poland. Are they taking their gold bullion bars? Absolutely not. And even if they did get to the border, people are absolutely corrupt. If they get to the border, authorities could say, sorry, can I have one of those gold bullion bars and only let you in that case. So you don't really want to be snuggling up with your Bitcoin. Nobody wants to know that you own Bitcoin. That's the fundamental value. You can flee tyranny, and right now you can flee lockdowns, you can flee vaccine mandates, whatever it is your government is throwing at you, you can flee that with the keys in your head. Nobody needs to know what you own, and I certainly will not be fleeing any kind of dangerous tyrannical government with gold billion bars.
Get those cryptocurrencies offline. Secure those private keys. BYOB. You are the bank. Uphold says, do you think the SEC versus XRP lawsuit will come to an end soon? If you do, what do you think the outcome will be? XRP, the only cryptocurrency with clarity, setting the standard for all cryptocurrencies, all the money. DAI, in all my life, I've only heard one company ever claim their goal is to replace SWIFT. Only one, all the money. All roads lead to the bridge asset.
So we need that internet of value to be developed. And that's what we spend our time working on, is a replacement for SWIFT and correspondent banking. How do you get all of the payment providers, all of the wallets onto ILP? And then how do you use XRP as on-demand liquidity so that all of these providers don't have to keep balances all over the world because the process is so inefficient. We think that's the winning kind of killer app. And then I think you last group talked about a Cambrian explosion. Yeah. Then you get that Cambrian explosion.
Well, I think what we're doing and executing on a day-by-day basis is in fact taking over SWIFT. In that, we've now signed up, well over 100 banks. Some of the largest SWIFT-enabled banks in the world are now using Ripple's technology. Just last week we saw a remittance company who's using Ripple's technology. They reduced the price per transaction to their consumers from $20 per transaction to $2 per transaction, and they saw an 800% increase in usage overnight. That's the type of dynamic that SWIFT isn't able to support that we're able to address right now. And that's something we saw just in the last couple of weeks. So we certainly want to see banks succeed in this new world order and take advantage of these technologies. To the extent we can work with SWIFT to do that, then that's great.
The payments, you have north of $20 trillion going cross-border each year. It is fraught with error rates, and it's slow, it's expensive. For me, it's a classic Silicon Valley going up against the big behemoth Goliath, but it's so broken. When I go talk to banks, it's a beautiful thing for me because banks don't like SWIFT. They're frustrated with SWIFT. Their customers don't like SWIFT. And that's a great place to be when you're selling into that. So,
and SWIFT, it seems, has responded to what Ripple is doing. How does their new technology, the response that they've created, compare to what Ripple's doing?
So they changed they sort of pressed on their customers to credit payments more quickly, and they added an acknowledgement at the end of the payment. So it used to be fire and forget. Now they send a message back from the end when the payment's acknowledged. And that does address some of the pain points that people had. But I think, there are a couple things it doesn't address. So one of them is it doesn't enable settlement at the time of payment. So if you think that that's an important thing, it kind of attacks our sort of submarine strategy of we'll give you a better payment system and it can settle at the time of payment. But even if you don't care about that, it's still a better payment system. So obviously the bidirectional messaging and everything, it's still a better payment system. But if you can take away the major pain points, maybe that sort of attacks our strategy of saying we're going to take away your major pain points. So we can take away some of those pain points too. But it doesn't fix the fundamental problem. It's kind of like if a music company tried to combat the iPod by dropping the price of CDs or making them hold more data or something. The fundamental problem is the settlement.
What does that mean? I was talking.
The show's almost over. SEC who? I'll see you on the moon. Eleanor Terrett, if I've learned anything in my crypto course, it's that blockchain technology is not going away. Banning, restricting crypto in the US and Europe will do little to deter Russia from using it to skirt around sanctions. Experts tell me that restrictions will only encourage Russia. Peerkat viewer XApp goes live on the Sun wallet. Live, easily view and share your NFTs on the XRP ledger roadmap. XLS 20D support coming. One click, XLS 14 to 20 upgrader. NFT analytics. To directly access the Peerkat NFT viewer, follow this link. Any NFT in your Sun wallet will be visible. Follow us at Peerkat Official for our NFT airdrop news and giveaways. Just to confirm, our X app is currently supporting XLS 14 issued NFTs on the XRPL. We will be supporting XLS 20 issued NFTs too as soon as XLS 20 becomes available on the XRPL mainnet. So here goes the Peerkat X app that you can download for your Sun wallet, and you can check out your NFTs. Currently, Sologenic is not supported, but I did check out over here on BitHump, which was pretty cool that you can see your NFTs now over here on BitHump. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're still just barely getting started. Crawl, walk, then we rock it. Remember what they said about the internet and why it will fail. Well, welcome to the Internet 2.0, the Internet of Value. I am the XRP Bagman, the Moon Commander, currently up here on the mothership, stuffing some bags and enjoying the show. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in, smashing those likes for some more Moon O'Clock news. Hope y'all continue to stay extra bullish out there. Continue holding those good vibes. Remember to sell the FUD, buy up that bag, and don't forget to spread that liquid love. Peace out, crypto fam.
Welcome to the party, all my crypto friends. 2022 full print, filling up a bag till there's no shorts in a bag, man. Welcome to the Baglands. Ripple net, it's liquid wet. Crawl, walk, then we rock it, flying like a jet. 2022, it ain't over yet. We just getting started. XRP the real deal. Bitcoin was a test. Filling up more bags till there's no fiat left. The SEC lost, now they cutting all the checks. 2022, living over.